Hi, hey. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another live episode of The Grid. My name is Scott Kelby, but I am joined by two very, very special guests. First, right next to me, our own Jen Coffin, producer extraordinaire.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
And on the end there, my wife, Calibra.
Hello.
How you doing?
You got the special hello.
Oh, yeah. So, first time on the show? No, sorry. Anyway, hey, we're glad to have you guys here. We have a very fun show. So, for those of you who don't know now, I know that a lot of you know Jen from, like, moderating, right? So, Rachel's moderating today. And Jen is right there. That's her lower third, by the way. Jen,
oh, wow, look at that.
Look at that. You got your own
cool.
lower third.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Leighton and Meredith. Oh, how sweet.
See, yeah, I know. They're the boss, right?
That's great.
So you guys know Jen from that, but her everyday job is a producer.
Yes.
So she produces all kinds of classes, right? So I'll give you an example. So let's say that someone's flying into town. So let's say, for example, Tim Wallace later this year will be flying into town to do some shoots. And let's say, I'm not sure what Tim's going to do, but I'm sure there will be a car involved. Maybe a plane, could be a yacht. He shoots luxury transportation, right? So yeah. Jen would be the person to go and like set that all up and find locations and find the cars and put together assistants. And if he needs hair and makeup and models and whatever it is, her job is planning very tricky shoots in very tricky places. Now, the second part, and the reason why I wanted Calibra on here, is Calibra is my producer. So Jen does help me sometimes. Calibra goes to her and go, Jen, I need a place. And Jen will go find it. But on the scene, Calibra is with me, and she is basically the art director, and I'm the photographer. And can I tell you how that came about? Well, let me save that, because we have some real quick announcements. But I'll tell you how Calibra wound up being my art director, and how it changed like my photography and my enjoyment of shoots on a big level. Not just having her personally there, but from a professional aspect made it more fun, because sometimes shoots would suck the life out of me. They really would. I would go and I would leave and feel drained and unhappy instead of excited and fun. Also, this is big. I'm wearing a different coat today.
I noticed that.
I know,
wow,
right? I'm
it's
going
not
green.
black.
I know. I pulled this one out and said,
He's going green.
I got to go green. I got to go.
Nice.
So I'm excited. Hey, but to start the show off, we have some very, very big news. I'm going to let Calibra tell you the news here, since this was her idea.
Yep. Well, we're opening up the gallery again for submissions. So we wanted to make that announcement today. You can start submitting your website addresses today, and we'll be taking the submissions until the 15th. We were going to do it the 14th, but then that's Mother's Day, and we figured, a lot of people will be busy, so we don't want to do it that day.
With mothers.
Nope, we're going to extend it to the 15th with mothers.
With mothers.
With mothers. So we're going to extend it to the 15th. So from today until the 15th, and they'll give you the link, right? Somebody?
Probably.
Probably
we'll have a
the
link
link
for you.
to submit your website or your portfolio addresses so that we can go check them out, and we're going to start going through those again so that we can do it all over again.
Yeah, and for those of you who aren't familiar with what the gallery at Kelby One is, we built an art gallery, a photographic art gallery. And every few months, like we're doing now, which Calibra just announced, we do a competition. It is open only to Kelby One members. So if you're a Kelby One member, you can submit to the address we're going to give you in just a moment. And you upload your images, and we look through them all. We narrow it down. We choose a winner. We fly the winner and a guest to here for the opening night wine and cheese reception. We feature your images in the entire gallery. So it's a takeover of the entire gallery.
Yep.
And then we do a presentation where we interview you, and it's streamed live all over the world. And tell us the idea behind the whole gallery, because I know some people know, but we always have new people watching for the first time.
Right. Well, what we wanted to do was to take one of our members and highlight them and showcase their work and present it sort of to the world. And because we get a lot of comments from members and people in general, or photographers, artists in general, that here I do this every day, and I put my heart and soul into it, and I'm putting it out there on social. I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to let people see what I'm doing and all this. But how do I really get that exposure, get that moment, or get that chance. And so what we wanted to do for our members was, to kind of give them that chance, to take that person and give them the showing. And
oh yeah, here's a clip of the opening of the gallery. So this was
our first one.
Yeah.
Mark Wegner. It was fantastic.
So, and these are some, you can see some of the images on the wall. And this was taken during the opening night's reception. Look, there goes a person at the opening night reception. There's only one person there. It was an odd reception. No, there was lots of people there. And he's a terrific art. But I mean, that's, his main job is not photography. He was an art director.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So that's Mark right there. That's Mark, the guy that won. And
just a super nice guy.
And there's the theater.
Too.
So we have our own theater, and you go into the theater, which is right down the hallway from the gallery. And we bring in a live audience, and we had Larry Becker interview Mark, and he was wonderful. Mark was just so entertaining and interesting, and people loved it. It was just a wonderful night, and you'll get to, if you win, you'll get to enjoy the night. There's the wine and cheese reception.
It's really just our chance and our way to just give back to our members and just to lift someone up. And this is the way we could do it, and in a way that really is impactful to an artist and photographer, and it's to highlight them in their work. And it's kind of like you spend all day long, working on your craft, and it's like to show the world, here it is. This is what you've accomplished, and this is what you've done so far. So
entries
really
are open.
Exciting.
Do we have the address yet? Does anybody have the address where you enter?
This time you're not looking at me.
Yeah.
It feels good.
So here, let me look at Jen. Jen, does anybody have the address?
Nope.
Nobody?
Ask Rachel.
Rach, address? Nobody?
Rachel will get that.
Wow, we're on a tight ship today.
We'll get it.
All right, so we'll get it. Don't worry, we'll have an address here in a minute. What else? Hey, I do want to show you this. Let me see if I can get my my iPad to connect here. Just a second. Because you have to go through a special secret handshake here to make iPads connect to anything. Hold on.
Can I say hi to some people?
Oh, yeah, I can't do it.
Oh.
It's not connecting to our Wi-Fi network because we must have changed the password, so now I can't connect to anything.
Dang it.
But you want to give a shout out, please do.
Oh, hi, Rose. Thank you for the compliment. And hi, Fernando.
Oh, and
Aw.
Jock's
And
photo.
Peter.
I want to say hi.
Peter from London.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And Todd Reamer says, is the gallery actually open to the public? Yeah, on the opening night, we let anybody in. So we invite Kelby One members on the opening night. I'm sorry. It's been a couple of months since we did the last one. We only do it every few months, and so I'm having to remember all the rules. Okay, I was going to show you something, but I'll show it to you in a minute. Let's see, just a couple quick little housekeeping things. If you go to my Twitter page, you will see a link. I did an article for B&H Photo. So B&H Photo did this whole series on switchers, people who switched from Nikon to Canon, Canon to Nikon, Nikon to Sony, Canon to Sony, whatever. And they did a whole series, and they asked me to be a part of it, and I said sure. Now, what's interesting was I did the interview, and it's more in depth than anything I've talked about. So I switched, but I didn't realize I've been shooting Canon since 2013. It feels like I feel so new that I switched, but it was 2013. So anyway, if you get a chance, go to my Twitter page, and you'll see a direct link to the article over at B&H. What else? Oh, one more thing. So Calibra shared something today that if you follow me on Twitter, you saw me reshare, which is today she posted a video on her blog that is so, I don't know how to explain it. It's joyful, it's fun, it's beautifully done. It looks like it's an animated short.
It is an animated short, and it's just spectacular. Actually, it was shared with me by a friend of mine, Jonathan Thompson, and you can find a link to him on my post, actually, if you go to Calibra.com. But it's just a wonderful little short. You're right, it looks like something Pixar would do, but it's not. And you'll see who did it. The link is for them, also. But it's just one of those things it's a life lesson, it's choosing your path, and it's beautiful. It's about, being artistic and creative, and you'll love it if you watch it. You'll probably cry. I cry.
You might cry.
Every time I watch it, I cry.
Yeah,
I have to stop watching it.
You might cry.
It's your blog.
Oh, that is my blog.
Nice.
A couple of things. Fran Hughes is asking if the submissions are U.S. only, and no, anywhere in the world you can submit for the gallery showing. So
hi,
that's Fran. And hi, Fran. Yeah,
we love Fran.
She's awesome.
She's so great. Yeah, we love her.
Yeah, and then yes, absolutely, Fernando, resubmit. Yes, if you submitted last time, you should resubmit this time.
Absolutely. And let's see what else. There was something else. Dave Clayton says hi. So, hey, Dave Clayton. We already missed Dave. Dave was here for like 10 days. He was here for a long time. And
it wasn't long enough.
And we had so much fun. And Dave was he's just one of the greatest guys and just so much fun. All right. So shout out to Dave over there in the UK. Hey, really quick, we have the address for the gallery. Get your pencils ready because it's a long one because we don't make it easy for anyone. Now, if you're a Kelby One member, just go log in and you'll see the gallery. Right. But it's called it's our members only website. So we have a site just for members. It's called members.kelby1.com/member-gallery.
Right.
Why do we put a dash in there?
There's a link on the members website.
Yeah, if you just go,
mystery.
like, why do we put a dash? Really, just because we want to make it a little bit harder to say. All right, members.kelby1.com/member-gallery. So
I think they
go
just
enter. What's the entry fee?
That.
What is the entry fee to enter? How much does it cost to enter?
Nothing.
That's right, zero. So it's to lift up our members. So we're excited about that. They're working on my wireless problem over there. It's taking multiple people. Also, I do want to share something really stupid with you. All right. So Kleber will help me with this. So this weekend I played a gig. Now, I don't always play gigs, thankfully, but I played a gig on drums this week. So this is me
awesome.
at rehearsal.
Nice.
So this is the band that my first rock band from high school. So I was 16 when I was in this band as drummer, and it was the 40th reunion. Not my 40th reunion. Here's what's weird about it. So you saw the bass player there, Tim. 3 of the guys in the band were seniors. Right? 3 of them were seniors.
And they still are.
And they still are. Now they're senior citizens. No. So 3 of them were seniors. And I was a junior, and my friend James was a junior. So it's actually their reunion. So my reunion would be next year. So it's not my 40th. Come on, that's old. Anyway, so every 5 years we go and play it. It's crazy. We do. We get together, same guys. By the way,
yes, we
same
go to.
Stupid
Not
jokes.
His reunion.
Nobody's changed. Everyone's exactly the same. I'll show you some pictures. So this is just like a behind-the-scenes shot. So this is at rehearsal, and you can see my bass drum when I hit it was sliding. So we went and took some mats out of a Ford Ranger and put them in there. And later I had to come up with a better solution. And yes, I brought cowbell. I brought so much freaking cowbell. We did American Band by Grand Funk. I had cowbell. We did some Santana. I had cowbell. I had cowbell at a staggering level. All right, here's a shot from me looking out, and I sang a song, and I sang a bunch of backup and made some noise. Look at this. This was a special table, right? This is a special table for the band with special snacks. And you know what's interesting here? Here's interesting. You see the photo on that table? Let's see if I can zoom in. All right, so this was from a concert we did in high school. I was 16 years old. That's the guitar player, Tony. That's Tim. Now, our singer is on the road. He's actually on tour, so he couldn't be there. But here's the thing. This picture was taken in 1976 by my brother Jeff.
Oh my goodness.
My bro shot that, and he was there. He was there that night, this night. He was like last week or this weekend. He was there Saturday night. He and his girlfriend came out. Anyway, but I tweeted this photo, and you know what I said? This is the snack table for the band. This must be what it's like to be in Bon Jovi. So very much like that. And here's a picture Kleber actually took during the set there. She took a picture of me rocking out there. Anyway, just thought I would share that for you for no particular reason. Hey, I got to tell Rachel something here. Rachel, the size of the text that you have on screen is for 14-year-olds.
I know, right?
None of us can read a dang word of that. See that size there? That's it. That's it.
Oh my God! She
We
just
need
said we were old.
giant letters.
Oh, that was so mean.
Yeah, but stretch that text box out so you can make, so you don't have 2 comments.
I just want to say, Rachel, I could read it perfectly.
And just so you guys know, I'm not kidding, we're looking on a 70-inch monitor. The monitor that we're looking at is huge.
But
let me tell you,
I could read it perfectly.
Can we talk about the giveaways?
Yeah.
Well, we're starting with Rachel.
Oh! Rachel, here's the thing. Rachel is technically the vice president of moderation. If the president of moderation is unable to fulfill her duties like she is today, she's just a heartbeat away. But now, I don't know.
I was just kidding. And besides, but we can't really do that, so don't worry.
All right, let's look at what we have to give away. We have stuff to give away. We are giving away. We got a bunch of stuff. If I can reach it.
I got it.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Hey, we bought these fancy cups that you put in an Aquafina bottle.
I know.
And I couldn't find the fancy cups, and I brought my own.
We finally got more platypods. All right,
But I'm hiding
we've been waiting for these. These were sold out everywhere. We're probably the only people in the world that actually have platypods. So this is the Platypod Max, the Platypod Max. This is what you put your camera on because no one in the world will let you use a tripod. So we're giving away 2 of these today. These are expensive and they're awesome. Well, they're not that expensive. Let me show you what they look like. Oh, it's sealed. No, you just have to pretend that you know what a platypod looks like. And if you watch the show, you know exactly what a platypod is.
I say bust into it.
But seriously, they were totally like sold out. These have got to be like the first ones in America because we haven't had them for weeks and all because you couldn't find them anywhere. Okay.
I say you bust into
Next.
it. Just put some candy inside of it, and it doesn't matter.
Ship
It's
the
open,
box.
but there's
Ship it
candy in
back.
it. So what? You know?
A copy of my Light It, Shoot It, Retouch It book because it has tons of like production shots and stuff inside. So, and
That's awesome.
Frank Doorhoff's book, Mastering the Model Shoot. We're going to give away that. Why? Because it has tons of behind-the-scenes shots in it, and this is a production-oriented show. And if that weren't enough, and it is, we are going to give away 2 tickets. 1 ticket to my seminar coming up later this month, like on the 20th or something, in Minneapolis, and then a few days later in Indianapolis. It's the Annapolis' tour. So that's coming up later this month, my Lightroom on tour. And if you don't want a ticket, you can just go to the website, KelbyOneLive.com, read all about it. There's where it's going. Minneapolis and Indianapolis. I can't read the dates because it's so dang small. But really, who needs to know what day? I'll be someday in there. Let's see. Looks like May 18th in Minneapolis and May 23rd in Indianapolis. Does that say 18 or 19?
It's really small text. Also.
19.
19.
One
We're having an issue.
I
thought you could read that, though, right?
I can read it.
Razor ears.
I can read that really.
Razor ears. Razor,
really well.
Razor. Anyway.
I just don't want to be helpful.
Yes. So we're giving away lots of fun stuff today. Oh my gosh, we're happy to have Platypod back in stock. We love them, and their stuff is amazing. Okay, back to our story. You know what?
Okay.
Actually, we're going to do this. We're going to take a break because I think we need one. I think we need a break. I think we all need.
We need to regroup, for sure.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, Calibra.
Yes.
What do you think of the Platypod? Seriously.
I love it.
You do?
I do.
Did you ever use one?
No.
Okay. Hey, what about Frank's book? What do you think? Good
That
book?
is Mastering the Model Shoot.
Yep.
It's an excellent book.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever read it?
No.
Okay. What about my Light It, Shoot It, Retouch It?
That
Yes.
is an excellent book.
Did you ever read it?
No.
Okay, anyway, we're giving all this stuff away and a whole lot more. Stick around. Jen's here. Calibra's
Jen's
here.
here.
I'm not sure why I'm here. We'll see you guys in a few minutes. Don't go away.
Hi everyone, I'm Tracy Sweeney of Elan Studio, and I'm going to be teaching you all about family photography. We're going to go ahead and craft these really beautiful, timeless images for our clients that they will treasure for a lifetime. I'll be teaching you all of my tips, how I harness this really gorgeous, but often harsh light, what I do when I'm in a park setting and I'm working with dappled light beneath the trees, what I do at the beach in golden hour. Can't wait to teach you everything I know about family photography. So join me here at KelbyOne.com.
Hey guys, Christy from Shark Pixel here, and I am so super thrilled to be bringing you this fully loaded new class all on retouching eyes. All right, you are going to learn things like how to accentuate or change eye color, how to add dimension, how to open eyes in multiple different ways, and lastly, we're going to get really advanced and start adding some luscious lashes to our images to really make those eyes pop. So stay tuned and watch my new class only on KelbyOne.com.
Hi, I'm Richard Burnaby. We're in Cape Hatteras in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We're going to be doing some landscape photography on these beaches and lighthouses and sunrises and sunsets. I'm going to share with you some powerful tools in the digital darkroom, exposure blending, focus stacking, panoramas. So in order to get the most out of those digital tools, you need to capture the images in the field in such a way to make the best images possible. I'm Richard Burnaby. Check out my latest class on kelby1.com.
Hey, we are back. Scott Kelby here with my special guest, Jan Coffin.
Hey.
And my very special guest, Calibra.
Oh my God.
I need to leave.
I'm so
sorry, Jen.
Hey, look, I'm on the verge of this comment here from J.F. Leclerc, who says, "Hi, Scott, and the beautiful girls." Ah, yes, J.F.
Oh, that's
Very
very
from
sweet.
Mont-Tremblant, Quebec.
Quebec.
That is very nice.
That is very nice.
is.
All right. Hey, look at that. Craig Street says, "Hi, I'm a brand new member from the UK. Loving it so far." Thank you,
Awesome.
Craig.
Yay,
and welcome
thank you.
aboard. Hey, we just got a question. We're going to answer this from Bruce Nicolette, who asks, how many images would you recommend for the gallery should you be the one chosen? So how many, well, at the actual gallery, 18 images?
18 images. That's what we hung last
So there's
time.
18 images in the gallery, and Bay Photo actually does all the printing. And did they do an amazing job?
It looked great.
Yes.
Their stuff was,
Yes.
you know what's interesting too? So Bay Photo told us about this thing they have called, what is it called? Exposure. X, the little X, and it's the hanging system and the printing system for this whole thing. And at the gallery, I cannot tell many people are like, how does this work? How does this work? It's very, very clever, but they did all the printing. So they print all your images, and you know what? When the gallery show's over, we send you the images. So you get all the prints from them. So they're pretty awesome, Bay Photo. But here's the thing. When you submit images, we don't want to hang 18 photos that are like, one is of a frying pan and one is of a landscape and one's a football shot and one's a cow. And it's like, you kind of need to have a body of work. And if you look at Mark Wegner's stuff, you know, while he did have architecture and stuff, it all was cohesive. You know, it all, you looked at it and went, yeah, that's Mark's work. And it was like, it looked wonderful in the gallery, and it was very clearly, it wasn't like random shots. It was a story. A story of life.
It was.
All right, let's see. Oh, so Patrick Savages, I think, is talking about the Platypod and says that would be great for shooting sports, Scott. Yeah, Patrick, I use them all the time. I send pictures from me using it on the sidelines. He says, we really missed you at the Battle of Bristol. Yeah, I was supposed to shoot that this year, and I didn't get to go. It just, timing was really, really bad. Dalton Ham says, you know what this show needs?
More cowbell.
More cowbell.
Hey,
Yes,
Dalton.
it does. All right. So this week's topic is how to produce your next shoot. And here's how the topic came out. So this is going back a few years now. I'm going to say this is going back maybe 2-3 years. I was doing a shoot in St. Petersburg, bridal shoot on location in St. Petersburg, Florida, at a place that a lot of receptions and bridal shoots are done at. It's very, very popular. And I was going to it, and I asked Calibra, I said, can you come and help me? This was not my first time shooting there. It was a bit of a calamity the last time I went. And so Calibra said, yeah, I'll just come. And she was just coming to hang out and just, you know, I'll kind of help or whatever. But she really was just, you know, coming just to really hang out on the set. So she gets there, and we had a number of difficulties during the shoot, as we normally do. But when we were done, so we're riding back, and Calibra goes, so what'd you think of the shoot? And I'm like, well, there's numerous times that I wanted to literally jump out the window. You know, I have all these people there helping me. I have this whole crew, right? I've got all these people. I have multiple assistants. I've got hair. I got makeup. I have the bride. We have all these people. And it's just, it was kind of a calamity. And Calibra said, she goes, I think I could really help you and help you to enjoy your shoots more. But you kind of have to hear me out. I'm like, okay. And she said, okay, well, first off, you guys walk into a shoot and you immediately start putting your equipment everywhere. Like, you just start putting up equipment, like build this and build that, and we're building all these lights, we're building soft boxes. And she goes, you don't even know where you're going to shoot or what you're going to do. You just walk in the room and start putting up equipment. And I'm like, yeah, that's what we do. We're guys. We just have to build stuff. And she's like, no, but seriously, she's like, you walk in, and she goes, and then like you walk into a room and you're going to do shoot. You found a room where you want the bride to be and some bridesmaids and stuff, or whatever. And she goes, you all just start packing in there at once. And she goes, you don't have a time to, like, when you take a test shot and it doesn't work, you don't have any time. Like, there's 10 people in a room made for 4, and you don't even have time to try to fix it. It's just like, she goes, you need to just rethink the whole thing. She goes, the very first thing you need to do is to walk in and don't unload anything. Or if you do, unload the stuff and put it in the corner. Don't unpack anything, don't set up anything. I'm like, I'm out. No, I said, oh, okay. And she starts explaining it to me, and I'm like, and I realize that she's right. She goes, how do you have a chance of being creative if the first thing you do is walk in and start building equipment? And as soon as that came out of her mouth, I'm like, you're right. She goes, you need to go in by yourself. You know, everybody else can keep unloading the truck or whatever, but you need some time alone, and you need to walk through the entire facility and look at everything. Where's the best light coming from? What are the best angles and all? Because what happens is we just wind up doing it on the fly, and then we leave and we go, oh, I wish we'd have done that. Oh, yeah, we should have done that. And you leave with a lot of regrets from the shoot because you didn't take the time up front to just be quiet. Now, so after she said this whole laundry list of things, which included that and a lot more, I was like, please come with me to my next shoot. Please come in, and you just produce it, because if you worry about all that stuff, like all the, like, you know, whatever, then you basically art directed, and then I can worry just about simply working with the subject and the shooting. So she did. She came to my next shoot, and she has been to every single serious shoot that I've done since that day. In fact, she now has her own shoots that she lets me photograph. But it was,
exactly
but
like
it's
that,
interesting
okay.
to see Calibra do this, right? Because the first thing that she does when she goes in there is she puts on headphones. So she puts earbuds in, and she's like, I need like 25 minutes to a half an hour. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Hey, look at this new.
Right.
Hey, look at this new camera
not
angle.
like that.
Look at the new camera angle.
Oh, hey.
Oh,
Yeah, we're not allowed to look her in the eyes. It's,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
exactly like that.
That is like creative time. We don't talk to her. We don't ask her questions. Everybody wants to,
it's
too.
nothing like that.
Because people will start running up. When you have a lot of people on the set, everybody does really want to be helpful. But they'll run
That's
up and
true.
go, have you seen this room over here? Have you seen that? And
Yeah.
Cleaver's like, please don't talk. Because
Jam it out.
she needs to get, no, she plays like spa music. She goes, this is my jam. And I'm like, that's not,
Well, it
you're
really
not allowed to use the word
depends.
spa music and jam in the same sentence.
Spa music is my jam in the morning.
True.
drives him crazy. Well, it depends on the shoot, depends on the music, so that does change. But yeah, I do like to do that. And actually, if I could even be there the day before, it just depends on how far away the shoot is. So sometimes I'll even do the location scouting if Jen doesn't do it. But it just depends on the shoot, will depend on the music. And if I can get there the day before, that's even better. If I can get there before everybody else, that's even better. But if I get there at the same time, then I do like to just put the music in and just kind of wander around, you know, by myself, as quiet as possible, to kind of just see the area and the light and the different ways that we might want to shoot.
But I didn't realize how important that was until I saw it. I really
It's
didn't.
so important.
I didn't. Now, I'm going to tell you a story here. So Jen, we went to Jen and said, Jen, we want to shoot someplace really cool. And Jen wound up getting us a museum. We're not allowed to say the museum.
Yeah, why
Are we
not?
allowed to say it?
Why not?
Because they were like, you can't say it.
And I don't think you can say the one.
Okay. we won't.
Okay, it's a very, very nice museum. And it's a newer museum. It's very, very super high-tech and cool.
Yeah, and if you've seen the photos, you probably can tell which museum it is.
Maybe,
Possibly.
but we're not going to say it. So
No,
anyway,
we
we went
won't.
to this place. It was called Bob's Museum. Bob's All Night Drive-Through Museum. Anyway,
That was it.
so Jen negotiated it to
Yeah.
get us in there. So first off, can we just for a second before I go on to the rest of the story, can we talk about a little bit of how, because Jen is able to get people to let us into places we have no business being. And you're really consistently good at this. How do you get us
Thank you.
into these crazy places?
Well, it was not easy. Scott came to me and he said, we had 2 days to do it, and you said your exact words were, I want an epic location. And I was like, oh my gosh. So that that was not the first place we called, obviously.
No.
It was maybe 4th or 5th on the list. And really, it's all about trying to find someone who will go above and beyond and help us out. So I found this woman, and I said, in 2 days, can we come there and do a shoot there? We've never done a shoot there before. She doesn't know us. And really, it's just about building that relationship. So this woman, we did the shoot on Tuesday night, and she was actually off of work on Monday, the full day. And she still did it. She made it happen. And so...
And she was just as helpful and sweet as she could be.
Absolutely. But here's the deal. So I don't know if you guys know this, but it's all about building relationships. And obviously, if you have a good producer, like, they'll have amazing relationships in the area. So this particular woman somehow mentioned that, I think on her day off, that she was drinking wine or something. So what I did was I brought chocolates and wine to the shoot, and I wrapped it up very nicely, and I gave it to her.
Yep.
And then I also asked her, yes, and then I also asked her, what else can we do for you? Because we were so appreciative of all of her hard work. She could have just said no, just like everyone else said no. But then I wrote a letter to her boss the very next day saying that she did an amazing job. And obviously the museum made a good chunk of money too. So it's really about making those relationships. And really, if if someone goes above and beyond for you, you have to let them know how much you appreciate it.
Now,
Right. And well, what I want to say is that, and that's not to be manipulative.
No.
Listen to what Jen's saying, and that's to be genuine and really be appreciative, because these people they're going above and beyond for
Absolutely.
you. And so if you take care of them, if you let them know that you appreciate it, if you're sincere in your efforts, that's going to pay off for you, because they'll want to help you out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's nice to do those little things for people. I mean,
Yeah, it feels
she
good.
gave me her cell phone number, and she was at home and making the shoot happen. So I mean, you have to be really appreciative of people like that.
Yeah.
yeah. And while we did pay for the facility, it wasn't like they made a killing off us or
No,
anything. It was
right,
like,
right.
So it wasn't like she's like, man, our ship has come in.
Right,
We're doing a
right.
shoot and we're going to just make so much money. But I think part of it is, and I think you kind of said it, is if you're a certain personality, people want to do stuff with you. Now, you guys know from talking to Jen in the forums, and now having her on the show here, Jen's a very nice, happy person. So because here's what will happen. This has happened before when we talk about stuff like this. Someone will write in and say, "No one will ever let me shoot at their place."
Right.
A lot of it has to do with your personality. If you call
absolutely.
up, because I'm going to go way, way, way back just in time. So years and years ago, back in the Stone Age, I worked for a big brokerage firm, and people at the end of the year in our state need to create an intangible tax report. All right. Now, I work for this big brokerage firm. I only am there to serve our customers. People would call up that are not our customers and want me to look up all their stocks, what their price was at the end of the year, and do stuff for them. Now, of course, if they're a customer, you're like, I'm happy to, Mr. Johnson, let me do it. But people call up and I go, they say, hey, I need some numbers for my intangibles tax. All right, what's your account number? Well, I don't have an account there, but aren't you people supposed to do this? No, sir, we are not. I'm sorry, that's a service for our clients. Bye. If they called up and said, hey, look, I don't really have an account there, but I don't know where else to go, I'd go, absolutely, how can I help? If you're friendly and really nice and you're a nice person, I want to help you. If you're mean, I want to get off the phone as quick as I can. If you're mean, I'm like, goodbye, bang. But when people are super nice, and so part of this, I think really part of it is you do have a leg up if you're a nice person.
Agreed, 100%.
If you're friendly and nice and they like you, and you can strike up a great, what do you call it, the chemistry with someone over a very brief phone call.
Oh yeah,
right?
sure. Absolutely.
So part of it was that. So you get us into this, and now you got to realize the museum has to close for us to do this.
Yeah.
This isn't like you guys can shoot over in the corner while there's people walking around. The museum has to close.
And the employees had to stay late for us.
All kinds of employees had to stay, like people from the shipping docks. I mean, there was a whole crew. So getting to there was kind of a little sticky.
Yeah,
All right.
It was a rough day.
So Calibra and I are on our way. And Calibra is showing me on her phone, right? We're stopped. We're in traffic, but we're completely stopped. We're just, we're stopped. Calibra shows me on her phone, hey, look how this is coming out. Look at the makeup and the hair on the bride. She looks gorgeous, blah, blah, blah. And bam, we get hit by a drunk driver in an SUV, totaled the car. The car exploded. They took the rear axle of our car and ripped it completely from the body. I mean, it was a mess. The car was totaled. There was nothing we could do, and we walked away pretty well. Calibra was a little jostled. She was like okay. She was so okay. She's like, well, let's go do the shoot. So we totaled our car. Jen came back and picked us up, and we went and did the shoot.
Might not have been my best decision of the day.
Yeah, that tells you how much we had invested in that shoot.
Right.
That we totaled a car, and we rented a museum. We got all the staff there. Our staff is there. We have hair there. We have makeup. We have the bride. We have everybody. We still did the shoot, but we were going so early,
oh my gosh.
so Calibra could have an hour there. We were actually going to buy tickets to the museum, go in as guests, and so Calibra could walk around and figure out where we were going to shoot. But you know what? We didn't have the time we wanted, and we got the epic type of shot.
Yeah.
But we only got to shoot really in 1.5 areas the entire time. Part of it was because we got to the shoot late. And the second part was we spent all our time doing what? Moving equipment. It was we got in and did the, we didn't have that time for her to walk around and see where to go and stuff. We actually came out of it fairly okay. But I think if Calibra had that time, we could have come out with just amazing stuff. But that was a real eye-opener for me. So my advice to anybody, for photographers, would be, as photographers, our first thing is to start messing with the equipment. My thing would be leave the equipment in the car or get the equipment in and just stack it. And you're going to want to open it up. Ooh, can I open my camera bag? No. I wouldn't even walk around with the camera. You need some time to be creative. Now, I'm very lucky I can just go, Calibra, we'll see you in 30 minutes.
Well, or if you can, get there a little bit early. A lot of times it depends on the facility. Maybe you have just a certain amount of time. So if you don't have the time to, get there early and walk around a bit, spend some time online, because a lot of times you can see the rooms or the place. There'll be pictures of it online. You won't be able to see the light at that time, maybe, but you can see the rooms and that sort of thing. Do as much homework as you can online if you don't have the extra time before you get started.
Hey, we did one.
Familiarize yourself as best you can.
Did you get us that mansion, the Howie mansion?
No, that was Kathy Propsky.
All right, so Kathy, our friend Kathy, we got to get Kathy on the grid one day.
Oh yeah, she would love it.
Especially when she's been drinking. Really, man, you get a couple drinks and Kathy.
She's so much more fun.
She is like a ball. Anyway, so there's this mansion a couple hours from here in Florida, and it's a fabulous mansion. It was, it was closed for 100 years or whatever. Now they reopened it, and they're selling it here now. But anyway, they used to let photographers rent it, and it was very inexpensive, and it was an incredible place. And here's the mistake we made. So Calibra wanted to look around. So Calibra's looking around, and what did Brad and I and Rob Foldy do? Unpacked equipment and set it up. We filled, and I'm not joking, an entire room of the house with equipment. If we had been with Calibra and looked at and walked around with her instead of messing with equipment, do you know how much of that equipment we used? Absolutely zero.
Wow.
We did the entire day, indoors, outdoors, everywhere, just using natural light.
Oh my goodness.
And we took, I'm not kidding, didn't we rent a truck?
Yeah.
We rented a truck for equipment.
Well, you were prepared.
We were prepared, but we spent so much time and trouble and effort that could have been spent creatively, literally messing with gear. Can I tell you how many times I've been with a photographer who has a flash, and because they have a flash, they walk in going, I'm going to use flash. Like that's it. I brought flashes, I'm going to use them. And it's like, using flash there was definitely not the right call. There was fabulously gorgeous light there. I did have to shoot sometimes on a tripod because some of the light wasn't as bright, but it was just beautiful light. But we literally filled an entire room with a rented truck's worth of stuff and never used anything but my laptop, a tether cable, and a 7200.
Yeah, so that's the thing is do a little bit of centering yourself. That's what I call it when you get there. Is give yourself some time to kind of just this is going to sound so cliche, but just kind of be in the space and just see what's there. I know.
Explore the space.
I hate saying that, but whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Just kind of be there and figure out what you want to do. and everybody, at least on our sets, everybody wants to be so helpful. And then if you've brought people to do that, to just help, you know, they're going to want to keep coming up and saying, well, what about this and what about that? I would just offer to anyone that's come along to help, especially the person that's there to be creative, because what happens is if you don't hear something like right away in the first minute or two, you know, they go, oh, hey, did you see this, or how about that, or what if you want to do this, and unfortunately it's actually not helpful, because while you're trying to think and you're trying to get it together, while people are throwing ideas at you, it actually stops the process, or at least, you know, slows the process down. And so, you know, you have to go, okay, maybe, but just, you know, give me a second. And you have to keep restarting. So I would say, you know, maybe don't be really helpful at first for them, and then give everybody, you know, a chance to kind of, you know, to get themselves revved up and get going, would be my advice. You know, let everybody do what they're there to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is disruptive, and it is. So many people, when Kaliber's on the set, want to come up and go, have you seen this room? Have you gone over there?
And it's exciting. I get it.
Oh, yeah, it is exciting. When you first get on the set, it is easy to get carried away with everything.
Yeah.
Hey, I found some of the shots from that shoot. Here we go. These are some of the shots. So look at the beautiful light coming in there.
It's gorgeous.
Now, we did do one thing. We did put up a shower curtain over the window.
Oh, nice.
Not a shower curtain, a shower curtain liner. So $1.99 from Walmart. A shower curtain liner that kept some of the light from being harsh. So this is all natural light. None of this is lit. And this is the one that has the shower curtain liner. It was just too bright. It kept blowing her out and blowing her out. And I'm trying to balance the light on my subject with the light in the room, and it was just too bright on her. And so when I would use exposure compensation to get her down to where it looked good, then the room was too dark. So that was kind of bad. I'll show you a couple more. And then I'm going to show you the shoot that went bad. Because we tried one where Kaliber was like, okay, and we said, well, we want to try one more thing, and we're going to do it on our own. It was a disaster. So I'm going to.
That's gorgeous.
I like that.
That was a neat place. Really
It was a wonderful place. And there's one that was outside walking. So here's that room. Look at the doors on the left. That's those doors she's walking in right there. And what you can't tell is we have a fan aiming at her inside. So we set up a big fan in there. But to get the dress to do that, we had to grab the end of the dress, throw it in the air, and run out of the frame. Run!
Did you have to clone people out, or did they get completely out?
I got completely out.
That's good.
And there's another one from that same thing. All right, so, here's one that didn't work out. But this isn't the one that was a total disaster. Give me 1 second. Go off my screen for a second while I get the total disaster set up.
Well, I actually have something, speaking to what you said earlier about kind of building the relationships and everything. So one of the best pieces of advice that I got early on in my career was a photographer asking a photo editor, how much is too much communication? You know, how many times can I reach out to a photo editor without being annoying? And she said, I thought this was brilliant. She said, well, it just depends on the person. She said, one person can write me once a week and it's not too much. She said, someone else can write me once every 2 months and it's just way too much. So, right? And it's so true. So whether you're a photographer or producer, the key is to be the person that they're happy to hear from, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what does that? Wine and chocolate.
Wine and chocolate, it really does.
I bet if you call over there and want the museum again, she'll be like, Jen,
oh yeah, she already said.
Up,
oh yeah,
Jen?
Definitely. And just being nice in general, and everyone's under pressure, but trying not to ever lose your cool, and just remembering that they're a person, and just being pleasant. It'll go a long way.
Yes.
Oh, it does. You know what, though? Being pleasant goes a long way in all of life.
Anything.
Very true.
Like all of life. You know, my son is incredibly polite. And when we go on a flight, and I always told him, I said, son, the flight attendants are some of the hardest working people. Mm-hmm. They have to deal with people who are unhappy all day. And so when you're nice to them and you're polite to them and you show them respect and all, they will show you back in kindness. So he is like so polite to them. He's like, thank you, ma'am. And he's just a very polite kid anyway. But he's like, thank you very much. Oh, that's okay. Or all. You cannot believe the things flight attendants will do for that boy.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
so
I'm
great.
talking about from the time he was 4, because he's been traveling his whole life. They'll go, like, if they didn't have a meal for him or something, she'll go, well, hold on, let me go see if one of the pilots aren't going to eat their meal. And they do crazy stuff for him. They're bringing him snacks they brought on the plane and stuff. But it is, when you're nice to people and show them respect, it's, you know, because everybody's so busy now. Everybody's racing around. And when you take the time to be nice and be, you know, it stands out. It just really does.
Yeah.
Especially when a young person today
So
is
true.
really respectful, and it just like, it just stands out.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to read some comments here, and I'm going to show you this looks way better than it was, and it's still awful. We had the idea, I saw it someplace, I just wanted to see if it would work, to shoot a smoke machine up into this, and this looks terrible, it's awful. And I kept it as a reminder of how bad it was. This is the stupidest shot ever. But what we didn't realize was, we thought that the smoke would rise. It did not. We shot it in there. I took that shot, and the smoke went everywhere.
Oh,
it came
no.
floating out of there, and then you couldn't even see in that room 10 seconds after this picture was taken. And then you couldn't shoot again for 25 minutes because it was just a complete fog. It was such a disaster. We had to run a cable like 200 feet to get up into this part of the house. And it's terrible. It's just, and all that, and we're just like, that was like, it's time to pack up and leave time. That's how bad the shot was. Oh, I tried one other one was pretty bad. Hold on, there's another bad one. This one I don't think turned out too well either. I love the little beam of light coming in,
Ooh,
and that's
yeah.
what really,
I like that light.
Okay, up the stairs in that little tiny room up there, that's where we did what we'll always known as the smoke umbrella disaster. Yeah, this isn't quite there either, but it's better than the other one because you just can't, it's just like, I don't know. Anyway. So
I was once testing out the smoke machine before the shoot at the Capitol Theater with the piano.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I turned it on, and it took forever, and nothing was happening. So I went back to my desk, forgot about it, and then came back, and the entire office on the side was like full of smoke. It's like, ah!
All right, you got us the Capitol Theater.
Yeah.
All right, so
yeah,
let's
yeah.
talk about that for me. How do you get a theater that usually charges $5,000 a day?
Yeah. You know what? I mean, that one was so easy. There was no real trick to that one. The woman that was the contact there was just so sweet and so kind. And actually, you guys wanted to come back, and she was willing to do that too. And honest to God, there's no trick to that one. She was just great. And sometimes that happens. You just reach out.
Sometimes they're just great.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the picture to show you here.
Can't really take credit for that. Oh yeah,
what was
that
the name of
picture
the
is really
song?
great. Say something.
Yeah, there. Thank you.
But yeah, sometimes it is just that easy. You just call them up and they say, hey, that sounds fun, and they let us in for practically nothing. It was really great.
All right, let's see if I can find the shot.
Just want to say hi to Clinton and Bruno.
Oh.
Hey, Bruno.
Yes.
Bruno Mars
Always
watches the show.
hello. He does.
All right, so here's the shot we did at the Capitol Theater. So this is for a project. This is actually Calibra's concept, was to do. I'll let you explain it because you're interpreting somebody else's song title and lyrics your own way.
Well, this is our personal project that we're doing where we are taking song titles and then, we're reinterpreting the song to sort of mean something different in a photograph. So this was the song Say Something.
Say something.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're familiar with it, it's kind of, like it's about, two people in love, and one kind of wants them to profess that love or whatever, say something, I'm giving up on you, tell me that you love me, or
And that song was
done.
playing on repeat.
And that song was playing on repeat until everybody wanted to kill me. But so our interpretation was that this was this fellow was writing a piece of music, or trying to write this piece of music, forever, and he was never able to really get this finished, and he's been spending his whole life trying to compose this this piece of music, and he's sort of spent his whole life, and he's down to this one night where it's like, you know, to the universe, you know, say something or I'm giving up on you. He's at this point of his life at this night where it's like, I need you to let me finish you, or I'm finished, basically. Say something, I'm giving up on you. And so this was the night, you know, and then we photographed it. So we had this guy is not a model. He's actually an architect, and friend of Steve, the head of video here. He's just full of angst, though.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was very angsty.
and perfect for this.
Yes.
So anyway.
But he was fun to work with, and it was such a fun shoot.
Yeah. Oh,
and
my
goodness.
goodness.
And you know what else was fun about it? Here's one of the things that I thought was fun about it. First off, Calibra, it was her idea, and so all I had to really worry about was the lighting. Now you got to realize, I worry about the lighting. I don't go, oh, I got this. I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'm always concerned about the lighting. But it's very freeing as a photographer to not have to worry about motivating the our subject in this case, or about what, like, it was Calibra's vision. I just have to shoot it. And so she's like, I want to be in like a theater, maybe backstage and all. Now, she wasn't like, I don't have any input, because I was like, hey, if we kind of shoot in this corner, we might be able to get this. And she's like, yeah, but what if we go, you know, so it wasn't like she was like, you know, hey, it's my shoot, shut up. You know, I'll tell you when to push the button. No, it wasn't like that. She was very great about it. And it was a lot of fun. And we had a lot of us on the set. It was like 11 of us that had to put all this together, because we had assistants, we had to move equipment, we had a smoke machine, we had multiple lights and flashes and different stuff. And
you
we
did
had
a whole blog post about it.
Yeah, I did a whole blog post. Thank you. I did a blog post about it, and maybe I'll find it here in a minute. But anyway, so this was such a fun shoot, because we did a few things. Well, we did a lot of things right. Number one, Calibra went in, and before we messed with anything or took any lights out, she just walked around. She put her headphones on with the song, of course. And she just walked around the room, just looking at everything. We could do it here. What about over there? And she's looking around and looking up, and just really, she got in the groove. So once she decided kind of where we were, we had to move the piano, because they had a piano, but it was just stuck in the middle of the stage. So we positioned that.
They love it when you say, "Can you move the piano?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody's like, it was on wheels.
They were freaked out about us using the piano.
Yeah, they were. They weren't. Hey, look, see. I don't know if you can see in the picture. Do you see how there's like crumpled music? That's crumpled sheets of music. Now you may be watching this on a small screen, but there's crumpled sheets of music that he had written on, and he was terrific. And see the little Scotch glass. Do we have the Scotch glass?
We do
It's
have
like
the
right on
Scotch
there.
glass.
Yeah. So on the set here, the Scotch glass that was for that shoot is now part of the grid. So anyway, it was also having the time. Like when we were done, we have the thing for like 4 hours, and you think 4 hours to do one shot.
Well, you know, though, but I don't want it to. It kind of sounds intimidating when you're saying, like, because you have me doing this, and then Jen does this, and then you do that. But this is a process that any photographer can do, even if it's all on you. You just need to do it yourself. Because what happens is, when I went to that first shoot with you, you know, coming from my background, I think it was helpful in that it was just different. Like, so I'm more of a traditional artist, you know, the painter, I draw, that sort of thing. And it was just very different to see, you know, how a photographer works. And I was having this conversation with Vanelli at Photoshop World.
Vanelli.
Yeah. And
Forget about it.
because I styled some still lifes for the shooting bays, and he said something about me being so calm about it, you know, or whatever. And I said, well, you know what it is, and this is what happened when I went there for you, and this is what I would say before you even involve Jen, or what Jen does, if it's all on you, is that I noticed that with photographers sometimes, you know, they feel like they have to set up the still life, or they have to get the model in place or style everything, and then they do it, and they want to step back, and it's like, ta-da, and then take the picture. And so I think what was helpful from my background is, like, a painter, or if you're drawing something, you know, that is not the process.
You don't walk up, just do a big thing, and it's done.
Right.
Ta-da.
No, I mean, you know, whatever you're working on can take weeks or
Yeah, like,
months.
what's the process
you know?
for like a painting?
Well, so like when I'm styling something, or if you're painting something, of course, you go in, there's an underpainting, there's you first sketching it out. So it is literally a process. And so when I started doing something for you, or when I was just watching you that one day, and there was no build up to the work itself. And that's the first thing I noticed. It was like everybody ran in and it was boom, you just did it. And that was just, for me, that was just like, wow, I don't know how you do that. And so what I was saying to Vanelli, and what I've said to you, is that, like, I don't have any angst about it, because if I set up a model shoot, if I styled something, a still life or a person or a scene or whatever it was, I would go in, I would situate everything, and I would step back and look at it. And if it wasn't right, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't freak me out. It doesn't scare me. It doesn't.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, but I've seen it on photographers. I've seen them look afraid when that happens. They set up something, and then they step back. It's not what they envisioned it was going to be, or they're not happy with the way it looks, and they look freaked out. And I never understood that, because coming from my background, you don't expect it to be right. Honestly, you expect it to be the first step of probably many steps, right? So when I first do something, I step back and no, that's not quite right. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to adjust it, or I'm going to, you're constantly working with it. And so for me, I stepped into the role for him with, kind of that calm, because maybe it was naive of me, but I just didn't have that expectation that what I was going to do was going to be right at first. And even now, you can ask him probably to drive everybody crazy, but I keep stepping back into the thing like, nope, wait a second, I got to fix this. I want to adjust this. A lot of times, like, it is a painting, though it's live. And so I think that is one thing that photographers could do, not necessarily to that degree. You don't have to drive people crazy. I hope I don't drive people crazy, but
No.
but is just to give yourself a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of time, because it's not, and it doesn't have to be perfect that first time, and just let yourself step back for a second. That's what painters do. That's what sculptors, that's what artists do. You go in, you sketch it out, you kind of futz with it a little bit, you step back, you look at it, and then you come back in and you adjust. And I think if you were more comfortable with that process as a photographer, that it would be very helpful to you.
I do get freaked out, though. Like when we did the shoot that we're talking about here, the To Say Something shoot, we set it up, and Calibra is continually working with him. Like, I need this expression, and you do this. Let's crumple up some papers. Let's do all this. Let's move the glass here, and let's put the glass there. She's working all that kind of stuff. Well, I take a shot, and I'm looking at the lighting, and to me, the lighting was horrible. It started off in such a bad place. So because I wasn't worried about everything else, I knew I would get the lighting. But when you're worried about everything, honestly, and that is tough. Now, let's just take that shoot, for example. Let's pretend there was no Jen and there was no Calibra and all. You as a photographer absolutely can do all of this. I did not need that big crew. Now, I'm very fortunate to have a crew and to have a budget to do a shoot like that. But if it was up to me and I had to call, I would start with, let's call the Capitol Theater, and if they don't do it, let's call another theater. Let's call Tampa Theater. Let's just keep calling different theaters. And I would call them friendly, and I would find somebody that would eventually let me do it. And then I would just pack the stuff in my car. When I get there, I would have to put the earphones in. I would do that now. I never would have done that in the past, but now I would chill and do it myself, and I would set up my own. I mean, this is lit with flash. These are just, it's not lit with studio strobes. It's lit with literally a couple of Photix flashes, right? So just little, off-camera flashes, and a couple of one Westcott softbox, a rapid box octa, and then a bare bulb flash. So the flash, you see the hard light on the side of his face? I think that's a bare bulb flash hidden behind, I had to hide it behind the piano, There's a technical word for the lid, but we'll call it the lid. I have a piano like that. It's not a grand, it's a baby grand that my wifey bought me, my favorite birthday present ever, about 20 years ago.
Anyway.
Long time ago. But you would go there, and I don't need people to, like, I can set up a flash on a stand. You know what it is? When you have a crew, everything just goes faster.
It really does.
Well, and this all sounds like a lot. It sounds like a long time. What I'm saying sounds like a long time, but it's not really a long time. It's just when you're doing it, when you're feeling the heat, it feels like forever. But when I'm talking about making these little adjustments, it's minutes, really. When you have to go back in and adjust something, it's like, oh, it's not quite right. It's not quite what I want you to. It's not, if the model's not quite giving you what you want, it's not hours.
No.
It's just minutes, but you just have to breathe through it.
I think you guys got that within like 2 hours or something, because the setup took a while, and getting the lighting took a little while, just tweaking it to make it perfect, and of course styling him, and then you had it, and it was done. Yep. So, yeah.
All right, so if we can switch over to my machine real quick. So I did an exposure post from exposure.co, and this is it. I'm telling the whole story of what was going on, and it's loading really slow. This is a shot I called midnight. This is what I call a black sheet at midnight. I don't know why
that's not loading.
It's loading so
I've seen that in a gallery. Night.
All right, well, for some reason it's loading very slow. I have behind the scenes shots and all. I'm going to give it a minute to load. I'm going to read some comments while we're waiting here, but I totally agree. Number one, you definitely can do this yourself.
Yeah,
and it's not as complex as we're making it sound.
No, it's not. It's just you have to just get in the habit of doing it, and you have to be comfortable doing it. And like I said, I've seen this happen with not just you, but and it sounds like maybe you have it a little bit, but photographers especially, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because of what you do. When you take a picture, you're used to that instant sort of thing happening, but especially photographers when it's not exactly what you want.
Do you know
right
what it
away.
is? It's like everyone is looking to you, and you need a second to just think about it, but it's like everyone knows it's not working, and so they're all waiting to hear from you, like to get direction. So that pressure definitely gets to you, I think.
It freaks me out.
Yeah.
All right, almost loaded on the world's slowest wireless network. There's a behind-the-scenes shot. Mark Rodriguez says, I so know what Calibra is saying because that is my process in a nutshell.
I don't doubt it.
And Mark is an amazing artist.
Yeah, incredible.
But he also has that background, that art background.
Artsy fartsy, just say it.
Well, and I know I've said this before recently, but I really think that would be so helpful to photographers to take some sort of an art course, not because you necessarily want to be a painter or anything like that, but just understanding that process, I just think would be such a calming thing for a photographer. Hey, I really do.
Bruno Miguel Santos has a nice comment here, and he's right. He says, just climatize to the room. Be one with the room. That's actually... It's
very zen.
It's very zen-like. Yeah. Clinton Farrar says, Jen, we know how Shebang gets, which Peter Hurley, gets his models to express themselves. What is your secret method, Jen?
I actually have an answer for this. Yes. Hi, Clinton. Okay, so you know how there's a lot of photographers that are I guess judgmental about, they call it spray and pray. Like, oh, don't take too many photos.
Right.
Like,
I'm not that guy.
I don't worry about that at all.
I don't either.
I shoot a lot of boudoir, and I have people that show up to my door. I've never met them before in their entire lives. They are petrified. They have no idea what they're going to, these are not models, and they're just really nervous. So all I'm concerned about in the first, 15, 20 minutes is just making sure that they feel safe and comfortable. So.
Yeah, because when you did my boudoir shots, I came in and I was like this, I felt very uncomfortable. Totally. And after some wine and chocolate, and I was like, let's go, Jen.
Yeah, Clinton, the actual secret is booze. Yeah, lots and lots of booze.
Oh no,
just joking. I don't do that on my shoots. No. But here's the deal. So when I'm shooting, I don't sit there and I don't tell them, okay, move your arm, do this, do that. I don't do that. I just sit there and I watch them because honestly, what they're doing naturally, their natural movements are generally the best that they can look. So I don't sit there and I don't direct every little thing. I sit there and I say, okay, lay in this position or get in this position, and then I start genuinely, truly, from the bottom of my heart, go, oh my gosh, that looks great, that looks fantastic. But then sometimes it doesn't necessarily look that great. But what I do is there's always this moment, and now I love it. I love it. You can always see this moment where they are willing to be vulnerable, and you have to nurture that. So they do something, and it could be the stupidest thing you've ever seen in your entire life, and you just have to go, that's fantastic, and you keep shooting through it. And then they've learned that I'm safe here. She's not going to go, oh my gosh, what are you doing? No, that doesn't look good. They know that they're safe, and then they're okay being vulnerable, and they'll try something else, and then something else, and something else. Then you can start to direct them. So the first, 100 shots that I take, they're just junk. I mean, if they're not junk, then I'm very happy, but I'm working with them, and that's how I make them comfortable.
Because what was fantastic was them being vulnerable, not necessarily what the pose was.
And you can literally,
so it's still honest.
You're sitting there, and you can see that moment where they decide to try something, and that's when you nurture that, and you say, that's fantastic, excellent. Now let's try this.
All right. Okay, I've got Jen's site up on my screen here. Jen, before we go through, are we going to run into any not safe for work photos or something?
Depends where you work.
Don't scroll past this page.
Right.
Just stay right there. Those are really nice.
Those are really nice. We're safe here, right?
You're safe right there. Yeah, that's
just
good.
stay right there.
Right. We're not going to go anyplace else. But,
no.
But needless to say, that guy's not wearing a shirt.
He's not.
Probably not any other clothes, because that's how she rolls. Anyway.
That's how she rolls.
She's like, yeah, your shirt's not working. Well, the pants aren't working. The underwear's not
Obviously,
working.
he feels very comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like
great.
he probably feels very comfortable.
Do you know who that guy is?
Me.
Yeah.
That's me. That was from our shoot.
That's from our
right?
shoot, exactly.
And I brought out a vulnerable side that you don't normally see of me.
I did,
Look, he's got brown hair. I've got brown hair. He's got eyes. I have eyes.
Totally.
I have a nose. I don't shave sometimes right there.
Yep. No, that was
I have shoulders.
Matty K's friend.
Yeah.
I saw Matt at a brewery, and this
Of
guy
course
was
you
there.
did.
Of course.
That's where you always run into Matt, at a brewery.
It's true. He used to go there all the time. And
He's driving a truck, right?
What?
Brewery truck?
Brewery truck, yeah.
Joke. Duh. Okay.
Right. And I was like, hey, who's your friend? Ask him if he wants to do a shoot. And he was like, sure. This guy is great.
So in short, you're picking up models and bars, is what you're saying.
Pretty
Just
much,
cut to the chase, Jen.
I just knew this was going to go.
All right. So Rachel writes, in all caps, break time, please, with an exclamation point.
And really large.
You can just put break time, we get it. You don't have to like plead, like, for God's sakes,
Dear God.
take a break, please. We have some comments to read, which we will read after this break. With Jen and Calibra.
Yes.
And on the jib today, we're happy to have Juan back. Good to have you back,
Hey.
Juan. You know, Juan was like, took a week off, or I don't know, he did something. He's moving it.
He's not saying.
Yeah, he's not.
It's just going up and down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say.
Why do we, I think the button that switches
I think he's trying to hypnotize us.
Anyway, we're going to take a short break. We're going to take a short back when we break. You know what I mean? This is what,
Deep
we
breath.
Just talk about bars, we get drunk.
That's right. Break time.
There you go. Why don't you take us to break? Go, Jen.
All right, guys, we're going to break. See you soon.
Meet Max. Max is a flat tripod base that is compatible with most standard tripod ball heads and screws on easily without the need for tools. Max is the perfect companion for low-angle photography and stability in unusual spaces. Don't be fooled by Max's slim frame. Max is made of aircraft-grade aluminum and can support up to 300 pounds. If your tripod ball head can support it, so can Max. Max can be rigged up with your heaviest full-frame DSLR or video camera, long lenses, and bulky accessories. Versatile? For sure! You can mount Max or tie it to freestanding objects. Max is also compatible with quick-release devices to keep it attached at your hip, strap, or holster. Max comes with 4 spike feet and a removable fiberglass reinforced nylon storage box. The spikes enable better grip on surfaces such as rocks, branches, and concrete. Max makes a great travel buddy, perfect for long adventures or challenging hikes. Max is a svelte 13 ounces and, at approximately 5 by 8 inches, can fit in almost any camera bag or backpack. Outdoor photographers will love the ability to place Max almost anywhere. including boulders and ledges for unique panoramic views, or down low by the ocean to capture breaking waves. Macro photographers will be able to get close, really close. You can also set up time lapses or long exposures in no time. Max works well in cities too. Bring Max in your backpack along with a strap or zip ties and tie it to poles or fences. Max can balance on narrow ledges and tight spaces where tripods can't fit. You can also bring Max into museums and other spaces where the tripod police would otherwise turn you away. And in the studio, photographers can use a single Max base for their camera, or multiple Max bases to create a portable studio setup. Rig up your Max with studio strobes and transceivers using a lighting stud on the accessory hole. Max can cast low-angle light on your subject or background and is easily kept out of the frame. If you do want to use a tripod while shooting, Max can be attached and removed easily between shots. Max can also be mounted to walls with nails for a more permanent solution, and it can be used to capture behind-the-scenes footage from a fixed location. The Platypod Pro Max was funded through a successful Kickstarter campaign. Now, it is available for immediate shipping to everyone. We know Max will be the most versatile tool in your gear bag.
Hey everybody, we're back. Scott Kelby here with Jen and Calibra, and we are talking about how to produce your next shoot. And so one thing I want to talk, I just want to mention before we do, a couple things. Hey, new class, right? The new class is, well, new class Thursday is tomorrow, but it's already out. I already saw it's out. Got a great, every week we come out with a new class on Kelby One. This one is from Christy Shirk. It's called Retouching Eyes. It is an entire class on just retouching eyes. And she's amazing and an awesome teacher. So that comes out today. Last week was Richard's class. Richard Burney, was that last week?
Yep.
That was last week. I think you guys already saw the official trailer about that. Hey, one thing I do want to point out, just last real quick thing. Joel Grimes did an amazing guest blog on my blog last Wednesday. There's a great one today too, but it's not from Joel. But anyway, go check out his is wonderful. It really is well, the photos, as you can see, are terrific. But he's got a great story. Go check it out. It's my blog last Wednesday. So go to scottkelby.com, scroll back to last Wednesday, you'll check it out. All right, so I wanted to talk a little bit, so I'll tell you what my process is. I want to give you my process.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Here's my process.
Let's hear it.
Step one, call Calibra. Honey, I want to do a shoot. And I give her a general idea of what I want. Now, I'm kind of famous for not giving her enough information and then later trying to hijack the shoot. So I'm trying to get better about it because the more information you give your partner on this, the better it will be. But yeah, I have lots of things I'm working on. That's one of them, is to be a better communicator from the start. But anyway, so I'll go, okay, I want to do this shoot, and maybe it's for a book or for it's my portfolio or whatever. And here's what I'm trying to achieve. So at that point, we will often call Jen and say, Jen, we need models.
Yes.
So Jen will go, and we have a couple different agencies that we work with. Why do we work with modeling agencies? Because we found that if you don't work with an agency, it's a 50-50 bet if the model will actually show up. Well, we invest too much money in these shoots to have the model not show up. If you're with an agency, they'll show up 99.9% of the time. If they don't show up, you know in advance and they were sick or something, or they, there's some other issue. But it's very rare.
Yeah. And also, if they're not very good, we can call the agency. And we had that on Tracy Sweeney's class where we had a little kid, and the kid, unfortunately, just was not up for it. And so we called the agency, and they immediately sent someone out who was fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're going to spend a lot of money on the shoots, definitely have an agency.
All right. So within a very short time, maybe a day, we get back a portfolio from. Now we've given like Calibra will say we want a person who whether it's a man or a woman or whatever we need, or both. Sometimes we need kind of this age group and kind of this height or whatever. So kind of give them some direction. They come back with a portfolio, and then Calibra looks at them and picks out and says this is the model. Now, when she first started doing it, I'm like, I don't know. Every time she picks the model, it's always exactly the right one. At this point, I'm like, that's the one. I don't even go, that's it, that's the one. Because she sees something that I don't see, And so that's great. I mean, she looks at, I don't know what she looks at, but whatever it is, she always picks amazing models. So Calibra picks the models, and then she goes and chooses the hair and makeup. I don't do that. Now, I will say this. There's probably no one in the world worse than me at choosing hair and makeup or styling, right? Because Calibra has to choose the outfit. A lot of times she'll go and buy the outfit, right? And you get really good deals, though, on stuff. You go to Nordstrom Rack, and you go to...
I go all over.
Everywhere.
TJ Maxx. Wherever I have to go.
Yeah, I mean, we have some really cool shots where she was like, this was $12. I mean, it's like she's really got a great eye for that. So, and I always love the way you dress. Back when we were dating, which was 28 years ago.
Moving right along.
Anyway, back to the story. Anyway, so where were we? Okay.
Clothes, makeup.
Clothes, hair, and makeup. And so let me ask you, Calibra. So number one, let's start with the hair. Where do you find the hair? Now, do you know what you're looking for when you go?
Well, yeah, sure. So once we decide what this shoot is going to be, whatever you're just you need it for, okay, then I'll decide what I want it to be then after what you say you want it to be. And then usually Pinterest is a good place. You can look for different, styles. Instagram is another place.
What do you search for? Like you go on Pinterest and you search for
Well,
hair?
It depends. Okay, I'll just pick something. But let's say it was Victorian. I might use some keywords: Victorian, fashion shoot, makeup. Different things like that. Just some keywords and see what comes up, and just start there and just start looking.
Same thing with makeup.
Mm-hmm. Makeup and hair. Yeah.
Now, so you actually have I want this type of hair and this type of makeup. You show that to the hair and makeup artists.
Once I figure out, once I find what I'm looking for. And sometimes I'll find something exactly, but then sometimes close, maybe, and I want a little tweak, and I can just send that to them, and then at the shoot, we can tweak it with what I'm thinking.
How often do the hair and makeup person do what you give them?
Well, that's the other thing is, so if you find somebody that can do that, you need to hang on to them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You need to hang on to them and use them a bunch. It's very hard because, and it's not necessarily their fault, but it's hard to describe to someone what's in your head. Mm-hmm. It's very hard. And it's hard, even if you can describe it accurately, it's very hard for someone else to understand what you're seeing in your mind. Mm-hmm. So if you can find someone that communication can happen and they get that, even when you're showing someone a picture. I've had where I said, I want to do exactly this, and been showing it to someone, and they just couldn't do it.
I think that in one case, they wouldn't do it.
Well, there are those times too. Sure.
We've hired some superstar makeup artists that were just like, okay, you want to do what? Okay, and then they just do something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Like they go, well, that's not really what I do. I'm going to do this other thing. And then you walk in, you go, whoa, this isn't at all what I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. And they have done something wildly different.
Right, and your option there is you don't use them again.
Right, but it kind of kills your shoot.
It's not awesome.
It's not awesome. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So you have a picture usually to show them. I want hair like this.
Yeah, you have to start. You should definitely. I mean, that's only fair. You should start with at least a photo, either of exactly what you want or something very close. You got to give them something to go by.
Right. Now at that point, so she's picked the model, she's picked the hair, she's picked the makeup, and she's picked the clothing. Then I've got to decide the photographic stuff. What kind of background do I want to shoot this on? Is it going to be a black background, a white background? Are we going to build a set? Are we going to go on location? Because when you go on location, everything changes, right? Mm-hmm. You go on location. I mean, you don't want to go to the park. Don't go to the park for your shoot. That's I mean, sometimes if you're shooting dogs, like with Kaylee Greer,
sure,
you go to the park.
Go to the park.
But shots in the park always look like you shot them in the park. Mm-hmm. So, getting a location is starts a whole new thing. Now, if we've chosen a location, how often do we need permits, Jen?
Pretty much almost every single time. So no matter what, if you're going to shoot on location, it's good if you have a bigger crew. At least, you know,
Right.
for us, we always have to let the permitting office know that we're going to shoot there.
Does every city have like a permitting office?
Every single city, yeah. And so some cities, like when I worked in LA, I mean, it was intense, and you had to make sure that you had a permit. And if you didn't, a cop could pull up, and if he sees all the cars, he can come in and shut down your shoot. And so even here,
We bought one in LA for Jeremy Cowart's Venice Beach thing.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't going to shoot. There were going to be no lights set up.
Mm-hmm.
It was all shot with natural light, over the shoulder camera, no tripods or anything.
Mm-hmm.
If I told you the amount of money we paid for the permit just to do it, it
Yep.
was so staggering. I think I'm going back and remember. I think it was in the area of $2,800 to $3,000.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
For
That's
Venice,
pretty intense.
for Venice Beach.
Wow.
Just to walk there and shoot. It wasn't it wasn't like we had a big crew. It was a small crew. It was
Yeah.
Jeremy and I, a makeup artist, and two camera operators,
Yeah.
and that was it. And it was like $2,800. I remember going to get the license. We had to physically go to, and it was just off of downtown LA. Go to an office and pay, and I'm like, and they're just like, okay, thanks.
Yep.
They weren't like, well, here's your special. They gave us a piece of paper that says you paid for it. And of course, by the way, when you actually do buy a license, it is a guarantee that no one will ever ask you for
Right,
it.
it's
No
so
one
true.
will ever
so
ask
true.
if you get it. No one. But if you don't have it, they will come out of the woodwork to ask you for
Yep.
it.
Yeah, and I just save even my communication with the permit office. Like if for whatever reason they say, oh, we're sending it to you and you're on your way there and you don't have it yet or whatever, I just save the communication so that if anyone ever comes up to me, I can just say, look, and you can just drop those names and it's all good. But it's
that's a
generally
great
pretty
idea.
simple. It's just paperwork. That's all it is. And you just Google it and just contact them, and sometimes they'll say, don't worry about it, it's a small shoot. We've had that happen to us sometimes when we have like a really small shoot. They say, don't even worry about it, and I save that email and I bring it
Yep.
to set. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and sometimes you need a police officer on the,
Oh,
at
yeah.
the shoot. It all depends on where it is, and you have to hire an off-duty police officer. It's not cheap.
Yep.
I did a shoot in downtown where I had to have a police car, and you had to have a car and a police officer. But it was a great help. I mean, they were a great help because people come wandering over. What you guys doing over there? And like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah.
All right, some comments coming in. Kathy Bateson.
Oh, Kathy.
Kathy.
She goes, ask Jen if she misses us all on
I do.
here.
I really do.
Her typing fingers are on holiday.
They are.
But Rachel
much
is doing
easier.
a semi-good job. Oh, no.
Such a good job.
No, such a good job. Such a good job. Fernando says, when can we expect a book with the words and wisdom and great pictures from Calibra? I ask her this all the time.
you.
So Fernando, for Valentine's Day one year, I made a book. I went through her blog. I found all of her awesome things that she said and different quotes and different stories and put together a book for her for Valentine's Day with the images. But it was a private book, you know. And I put a couple of nude selfies of mine in there. No, I'm just totally kidding. Anyway, no, it was a book because her blog has got so many interesting things in it. So I talk to her about it all the time and haven't quite got there yet.
But she is doing a class soon.
Yeah, she is taping a class.
Yes,
We
I
need
am.
to
As soon as I
say
get
it.
my voice fully back,
Yeah.
then yes.
She lost her voice at Photoshop World.
We need to make sure to say it so that it really happens.
I know.
So, all right.
pushed back a few
So
times.
Calibra is taping a class on iPhoneography.
Yes.
Yes.
And she's got an amazing outline. I can't wait to tape it. She's doing it with Larry Becker.
Yep.
Well, that sounds bad, but you know what I mean. They're working together on the class. Anyway,
Accurate.
Peter wants to know, when am I coming to London with the Lightroom tour? Well, we don't have a date yet. I hope it'll be sometime this year.
People ask when you're coming to London every single show.
I love London. It's like one of my favorite places. It's full of my favorite people. You know what's bad is we have so many viewers from the grid. I have to have like a meetup at a pub.
Yeah, that'd be so
It's like
fun.
we're all meeting at 4 o'clock or
That'd be great.
get off of work and come. All right, Bob from Oz is asking a question that is kind of like, it's not really like in our wheelhouse today, but he says, what do you do when you pay $200 for a critique from a professional and all they will tell you is your work is terrible, but they won't tell you why? So Bob, here's what I would say is, well, that does stink. That's a lot of money to spend for for someone to tell you your work is bad, because I would have told you your work is bad for free. But here's the thing. But if they won't tell you why is bad, because I think when you want a critique, you really want you really want to know why.
Yeah,
like,
that's
okay,
the whole point.
so why is it bad? And so I hear you. That's it's an unfortunate thing. But here's what I'm going to say, Bob, and this has happened to us. So when we do the open critiques on the grid, which we're about due for one, when we do the open critiques, we get images sometimes, Bob, they're uncritiquable. You look at them and you go, I wouldn't know what to say to this person. They're not really photographers. You're not, and the only thing that we'd be able to say is, you're just not a photographer. You don't have any feel for this. You don't have a clue. I don't even know where to tell you to start. I look at your picture and everything is wrong with it. It's not, you need a better lens, you need to get closer, you need to do it's like, you have no feel. It would be like handing a saxophone to someone who's never played a sax, and you hand it to them, and they go, and they go, what's my critique? What do I need to work on? You don't know how to play sax. No, but I just did it. I blew through it, and I moved the numbers. I mean, I moved the keys.
The numbers. That's a good analogy.
I moved the valves, or whatever the heck is on a sax. I did it. I actually played. That's like someone who just picks up a camera and takes a shot. You have no feel for it. You have no idea what you're doing. It's just completely irrelevant. And so Bob, I'm not saying that's your stuff. I didn't see your stuff. But here's what I will do, Bob, for you, because I love you. Send Rachel your information. I'll contact you, and you can send it to me. I'll give you a critique.
Awesome.
I'll do it for free, and I will tell you what you can do. And I'll bet I can find something that will make a difference.
Very cool.
But if you don't, after you send me the link, if you never hear from me again,
Oh, no.
you'll understand. No, I'm just kidding. All right, we got to wrap things up. All right, first off, I got to tell you a couple quick things. Where to go to sign up for our awesome giveaways today. Go to kelby1.com/contest. And you can enter there. You have to tell us what you want to win. We're giving away 2 Platypod Pros, or whatever there's many Platypods. We're giving away an awesome one. So that's what you do in the comments. Tell us what you want to win. Do you want to win a ticket to my Minneapolis Lightroom seminar? To my Indianapolis Lightroom seminar, both of them later this month. Do you want to win the Light It, Shoot It, Retouch It book by me, or Frank Doorhoff's Mastering the Model Shoot? Any one of those, you just have to tell us what it is that you want to win. So enter that, and we'll contact you. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, unless you probably wouldn't want to sign up for my Indianapolis giveaway if you live in like
Right.
Finland.
Probably.
But anyway, also want to tell you
Maybe
about my
though.
friend Serge Ramelli. Serge Ramelli. What does he say? Bonjour, madame et monsieur, madame Serge Ramelli. I'm a photographer in the University of Paris. Anyway, so I got this
Right.
movie coming out. So I can tease him about that all the time. He teaches at Photoshop World. So anyway, Serge has got a movie come out called The Hollywoodens. If you look it up on Google, I don't have the address in front of me, but actually, if you look on my Twitter or Facebook page from last week, you'll see me tweeting about it. But he actually stars in the movie.
What?
Like, he is the star
That's
of the
crazy.
movie. Yes, he's Serge Ramelli.
Does he talk like that?
He talks like this the whole
The
time.
whole time?
Yes.
Okay.
He said the director's going, French it up. Come on.
French it
up.
French it up.
But anyway, it's it's a cute premise and a really cute movie. You can go watch the trailer, and you can actually get like pre-release tickets and stuff now. So there's this whole thing. If they get to a certain number, then it gets some big wider release in theaters
cool.
nationwide. So anyway,
Wow.
it's called The Hollywoodens. All right. So I was hoping I could find the thing, but probably our feed's going to run out here in like a minute. Yeah, our feed runs out in a minute, so we're not going to be able to do that. Go search for it online on Google. Serge Ramelli. In fact, if you just search for anything Serge has done in the last 2 weeks, he's going to be saying, "Oh, don't forget my movie is Hollywoodens. I'm a star." Go check it out. He's an awesome guy, and it looks like a really, really cute movie.
That's cool.
I want to thank my wonderful guest today, Jen Coffin. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank
And
you both.
Calibra, thank you for being here. You know, I'd love to
Thank
take
you.
you to dinner sometime.
How about right after the show?
At home? Great, sure. Anyway, so also thanks to Rach hanging out over there on the
Rachel.
doing her thing. 2 thumbs up
Awesome,
from Rachel.
Rachel.
Wani's back in the thing. We're not going to make Meredith come out because she's now a week older than she was last time we made her come out. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for all of you for all your comments and just hanging out with us today. Thank you, my guests. Thanks to our sponsors.
Thank you.
Thanks to Platypod for giving us a couple of Platypod to give away. And
Yeah.
we'll catch you guys next Wednesday right here on the grid.
Bye,
It's surprising. C'est fou. Bonjour, la fromage.